this, I wouldn't say goal or like this thing they gotta hit, but for me, in every belt, there's like this thing, right? Like white belts, you come into jiu-jitsu, you're fresh, right? You have no clue what you're doing. You're wearing these cool looking funny pajamas, and you have no clue what's happening, right? Then you come to blue belt, and you're learning some things, you're exploring, right? You're trying to find different stuff that you want to use, right? And then purple belt comes around, and you kind of figure out what you want to do, and now you're trying to perfect it, right? Now you're trying to get all of it down to the nitty-gritty, all the way to the details. And then when you come to brown belt, now you're just repping it out. You're just repping it out with anybody you roll. If you still make mistakes here and there, you're kind of learning from it, right? And then when you hit black belt, it's like everything that you've done before that, whatever you're good at, that's kind of what you're known for as a black belt. Okay, so like every belt has like this thing, right? But since today's a more majority white belt class, here's how I want to do today's class. Okay? I want to start from standing. And then we're gonna hit the ground, and then we're gonna work on the passing, and then we're gonna work submissions. Okay, so we'll kind of put all the guard passes that I would have taught, all the back takes I would have taught, and all the arm bars I would have taught, but just summarized. Okay. Last week Wednesday, I had just opened the freaking drain hole and just dumped whatever with lapels last week Wednesday. Okay. Today we're gonna keep it kind of short, simple, and just summarize. Okay. I'm not gonna get too big into details, but I think for today's class, I want to get through everything that's kind of in jiu-jitsu, but summarized. Okay. In between that, I want you guys to kind of understand conceptual thinking, theoretical thinking, right? What happens behind all of this, right? What is needed for an arm bar? What's needed for a triangle? What's needed to pass the guard? What's needed to hold this position? Okay? Everything you guys learn right now, whites and blues, everything you guys learn right now is all techniques. Everything you guys learn right now is arm bar, triangle, Oriano pass, pulling guard, Delahiva, right? Now, some of you guys may be able to explain what is happening, and some of you guys might not. Okay, so the big goal I want to accomplish tonight is having you guys being able to explain everything that happens. Yeah. So let's start with the feet. Yeah. Let's just have a broad idea of what happens on the feet, and then a broad idea what happens on the ground. Okay, because there's only two ways you're gonna get to the ground. One person does the takedown, or one person pulls the guard. Okay? What happens after that is now passing guard and recovering guard. Then what happens after that is either someone gets swept or someone passes. Then what happens after that is the submission. Okay? So, let's just start from standing. I'll show you guys a couple things from standing, super basic stuff, some things that I like to do, and then we'll hit the ground. Basic things, passing, sweeping, basic things, and then arm bars for the submissions. Okay? Let me go off later. I haven't used later. Okay. So, first thing from standing is your guys' grips. Yeah? You guys are always going to have either a collar or you guys are going to have a sleeve. Right? This is usually you guys' basic grips is the first thing you guys learn in jiu-jitsu. Is a collar and a sleeve. Right? As you guys play more in standing, like if you guys roll with Tim and Brayden, they're either always grabbing double sleeves or they're grabbing cross collar. Okay? So there's same side collar and there's cross collar. Then there's same side sleeve and cross side sleeve. Okay? So there's different grips, right? You have collar sleeve, you have cross collar sleeve, you have double sleeve, sometimes you even have double collar, right? Then sometimes, if you're even in the gi, some people like to play collar ties, where they're holding the neck and the elbow. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is, you guys are gonna find a partner. All you guys are gonna drill for the first minute is just finding different types of grips. Okay, so me and Blake are just gonna play around. We're just gonna search for different grips. No person is really breaking them. You guys are kind of just catching, releasing, as the other person is kind of doing the same. Right? And you kind of want to just flow with your partner. Yeah? If both partners do want to try and break grips, be my guest. Okay? But for the first minute, you guys are just going collar. You guys are trying to find grip. Even behind the armpit is a good grip. I like this grip a lot. Behind the armpit. Right? So you have collar, sleeve. You're kind of just playing around. You can even go double, hands on sleeve. You can go double on the collar. Okay, but you guys are just flowing around, just finding different grip. Okay, wanna try that? Final partner, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna start super basic with you guys. Once you guys go collar and sleeve, okay, a couple takedowns that I like to do. The first one would be any kind of foot sweep on the bottom. Okay, so usually you want your foot to turn inward, so you want the bottom of your foot, and you can either catch the ankle or you can catch the knee. Okay, once you guys catch somewhere over here, your hands do the next part. Okay, so you can either catch the foot and use your hands to keep pulling, or you can catch the knee and use your hands to keep pulling. Okay, that's the first thing I like to do. Okay, so make sure you guys utilize everything, right? Utilize the hands that's grabbing, utilize the legs. Okay, so any foot sweep, most of the times I won't hit it, but if I do, it's really rewarding. Because for me, foot sweeps is it's a very low risk, high reward kind of thing, right? Like you're not putting yourself in any danger, you're kind of just playing with your feet, right? Until you catch it. Yeah. So once you guys do catch it, there's a takedown 2 points. Okay. In order to get 2 points though, you have to hold the position for 3 seconds. Right? So let's say I get the foot sweep on Viv, right? And then she comes up, I don't get my 3. Or I don't get my 2. Okay. But once I catch it and I hold it down for 3 seconds, there's my 2. Okay. Another thing that I like to play with is the Uchimata. So I always like to step in and my other foot steps back and I'm just coming in between. Okay, so my leg is just swinging right underneath, and like I said before, just like the foot sweeps, once your legs do the work, your hands just do the next. Okay, so I always like to step in. Usually I always do this with my right leg, so my right leg always steps across, my left leg steps back, and I'm just catching it. Okay. Now, you guys can also combine the things, right? You can combine the foot sweeps with the Uchimata. You can combine the takedowns, right? Or you can even go like a little foot sweep into a drop tail. Yeah. So those are a couple of things I like to do. Even the drop tail, I like to do that. It's the same thing. I'm going to step across, but instead of me stepping back, I'm just going to drop here. Then my elbow comes up in the armpit. I'm still holding onto the sleeve, and all I'm going to do is just bow. Okay, that's another thing I like to do. Basic takedowns though is always your guys' double legs. There's always your guys' low singles. And then there's always your guys' ankle picks. Right? 3 of the most basic takedowns, kind of the first 2 you'll ever learn. The first, of course, being the double leg. Right? And then after that, you'll learn the low single. And then after that, you'll probably learn the ankle pick. Okay, so if you know any other takedowns, use them. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna go a minute. You guys find your own grips, but instead of this time, you guys are actually searching for your guys' takedowns. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is about entertainment, actually. Okay, but right. So my rule: minute, no longer. Okay. Once that minute passes and somebody yells out, "Oh, minute's gone already," the next best option is okay. I don't know what the rules are for adults and not or triple count or jumping guard, but you can also jump guard. Okay. Okay. You can jump guard with. I always like to jump guard with double collar or collar and sleeve. Okay. I would never jump with any other grip. Okay, but jumping guard is just coming here. And it's just self-explanatory, you're just jumping for the guard. Okay. The next thing is pulling guard. And so I'm pretty sure everybody's been over this. Collar, sleeve. For this one, for today, I know Chris taught you guys to put the foot same side as the hand that's grabbing the collar on the hip. Okay, but for this one, you guys can kind of go both sides, right? When I was learning, I was taught to always go foot on the hip that's grabbing the same side collar. Okay? But I've learned that if you put your left foot on, they can't grab this hand or grab this leg, right? Because I'm controlling this hand. Right? Even if they try to go for it, I'm just gonna keep hold of it. right? And then I can start pulling. If I go on the other side, they still have a chance of grabbing it. And if I do fall, that's 2 points for them. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is for a minute again, each person, you guys are just gonna keep kind of dancing around, right? One person is gonna try and pull and get into any guard. Okay. If you guys do pull, you guys can go dalagivo. You guys can set up. I hate this guard, but you guys can set up spider lasso. Okay. You guys can set up spider, X. Okay. Once you guys pull, get into a guard that you guys are comfortable with. And if you guys jump guard, okay, have your partner drop to their knees. And then find a different guard from here. Okay, so that could be like knee shield, which is like Z guard or whatever. You can kind of force the half. If you want to keep going from the half, you can go into deep half. Okay, but just play with guards you guys already know. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, what do you think?
Want to pull?
Try jump guard.
Yeah. Was both partners able to find a guard and play with it? Was everybody comfortable with it? Do we want to play again? We want to play again? Okay, let's go one more. And one person is trying to shoot. Okay. So for me, when I was kind of finding my system in Jiu-Jitsu, my two main focuses was passing and sweeping. Okay, because this is where Jiu-Jitsu happens, right? Everybody tries to play takedowns, everybody tries to get to side control and mount. But before any of that happens, this kind of happens, right? Is one person trying to pass, one person is trying to sweep or submit. Okay? So, for now, I'm not gonna explain anything. I just want you guys to have one person on top, one person on bottom, and I just want to see where you guys stand. Okay, so person on bottom, you're gonna hunt for either your sweeps or your submissions. Person on top, you're gonna hunt for your passes. Okay, I'm not gonna explain anything else. I just kind of want to see where you guys stand with this. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know any basic passes, there's always the knee slide. There's your guys' Toriando. Toriando. Watch this out. There's your guys' Toriandos. There's always the leg drag. I think leg drag is one of those beginner passes as well that you guys always find yourself in but don't know how to really use it. Okay, so there's always your guys' leg drags, there's knee cuts, and there's the Toriando. Yeah. And then there's even your guys' like super beginner white belt moves where they just come on top. Right? Your guys' like throw by passes, like whether you're on the feet or you're on the knees. Okay, so there's your guys' knee cuts, Toriandos. If you guys want to try your throw by passes, go ahead. And then I honestly think leg drag is one of those like beginner passes. Okay. But for now, I just want to see you guys stand with this, okay? So person on bottom, your goal is to just sweep submit. Person on top, your goal is to just pass, okay? Let me make this clear as well. If you guys pass, and you guys start to get the side control, okay? I need you guys to secure it for 3 seconds, okay? So if I get to here and Tony starts stripping away, and Tony starts to get back to the guard, I don't get my 3 points, okay? So in order for me to get my 3 points, I have to hold this position for 3 seconds. Okay. Same thing for person on bottom trying to sweep. If Tony sweeps me and I end up on my back, and the ref is counting 3 seconds, and I get up before that, no points. Okay. IBGF will give you an advantage. I don't know about Naga and Triple Guard. Okay. So when you guys do play this game, make sure you guys hold your guys' position for 3 seconds. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? What's it think?
Really get past his legs. Alright, good. Top level. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Okay.
The shoulders. Jack, grab on the shoulder.
Oh, which shoulder is that? Okay,
Control partner straight.
Remember, person on bottom wants to start a specific guard. That's it. Once you guys are ready, go ahead. Oh, that's fine. If you guys want to just start from open guard, go ahead. Open guard is a guard. I don't know. Oh, wait. What's the guard?
Yeah, definitely good too.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I'll let you go.
If all of us answers was no, that's good. That's actually generally good. Okay. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So, for me, anytime that I pass, okay, so I'm just gonna go over conceptual ideas. After all of this, we'll try again. Okay. So, for me on top, my goal, anytime that I like to pass the guard, is I'm always working the legs. I wouldn't say inch by inch, but kind of like by where it bends. Okay, so this is dumb, but the toe is bent. Okay, you want to get past this first. Okay, but, I mean the toe is bent, so you want to get past that. That should be easy. Okay, after that, after the toes, the ankle also bends. Okay, after the ankle, there's the knee, and then after the knee, there's the hip. Okay, so for me, anytime I pass, I always try to go joints. Okay, toes, collect the ankle, collect the knee, collect the hip. Okay, once you get past the hip and you control it, that's a pass already. Right? No matter how much they try and turn, or they try to turtle up, or they try to scramble, as long as you have control of this hip, you have your pass. Okay? Once you get past the hip line, then comes the upper body. Okay, so for me, anytime that I try to pass, I don't ever play with the upper body unless I have control of the hips. Okay, so this is all restricted until I have the hips. Okay. That's just my conceptual idea of passing. Now the ways you guys can do that, for me, there's only two ways. There's speed passing, and then there's pressure passing. Maybe there's three because you can combine both, but realistically there's kind of only two. Pressure passing or speed passing. Okay? In both situations, you want to still think of that joints. Okay? Collect the toes, collect the ankles, collect the knees, collect the hips. Okay? Once you guys have the hips, the upper body comes next. Okay? Because once you guys get past this, their next line of defense is their hands. Right? They're gonna start framing so that I cannot collapse on my partner. Right? They're gonna start pushing away so that the legs now can come back in. Right? So once I get past the toes, then the ankles, then the knee, and then the hip, once I have control over here, my next objective is to now control everything up here. Okay. So that's me. Everybody has a different way of thinking it, but for me, that's the way I like to think of passing. Each joint, once I have the hip, upper body is in play. Okay. Now for the person on bottom, you're gonna reverse engineer all of that, right? So if anytime you guys roll with me and you guys know I'm thinking that, all you have to do now is to just make sure that I don't get any of that, right? So if you guys at any point feel like I have control of your knee, the best thing to do is to just get rid of it, right? Get rid of it, and then try to put something better inside. Okay, so person on bottom, you're kind of thinking. Let me go back. Person on top, person on bottom, everything is vice versa. Everything is vice versa. Okay? Everybody thinks that person on top, their goal is to pass. Everybody thinks that the person on bottom, their goal is to sweep or submit. Right? My thinking is person on top don't want to get caught in submissions or sweat. Okay? Once you guys understand that, then you can pass. And that's the same thing for the person on bottom. Once you understand that you're safe, which means that they're not passing, now you can start attacking. Okay? So for the person on bottom, the way I like to think now is to just keep everything as a wall of defense. Right? So first is the feet. Once you guys have their feet here as a guard player, this is stronger. Okay? If the guard passer gets past the feet, now comes your knees in play. Yeah, so that's why you guys have those knee shields and like the Z guards and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Once I get past the hip though, like I said before, now the upper body comes into play. Okay, so for person on bottom, you want to restrict all of that from happening. Okay, so person on bottom, everything for you guys is a wall of defense, right? Another way to think of it is, in order for me to get to the hips, I have to have a clear view of it, right? So if Janelle keeps everything like this, I have no hips. I can't even see it, right? So as for the person on bottom, right here is your wall of defense, and for me on top, I'm trying to break all of that by the joints, right? So if I can get past the ankles, past the knees, and past the hips, if I can open this spot right here and have a clear view, I'm going. Okay. So we're gonna do this again. Try and think of everything conceptually, right? Like I said before, person on top. The way I like to think is controlling the joints. Person on top, you're trying to stop that from happening. Or sorry, person on bottom, you're trying to stop that from happening, right? So if I'm trying to pass here, and I'm having trouble time trying to get around the feet, that's already a bad start for me. But it's a good start for the person on bottom. Okay. So let's try this again. We're gonna go for a minute, find a different partner. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Right, because this is where I'm heading. Right? Now, everything is in front of me here, which means that if I keep everything here and I start to move, and I'm passing to this backside, there's nothing here. I don't gotta worry about nothing back here because there's nothing. Okay? But if I keep trying to force myself to go this way, where everything is in the way, it makes it so much harder for me. Right? But for the person on bottom, this is good though, right? Because you can see the guard passer, you can see where they're grabbing, right? But once I start to do this, and I come back here and I can see his back, oh, this makes so much things easier for passing, right? Because there's nothing here to stop, right? Now, if Jerome starts to turn into me now, right now I just gotta do it on the other side. Here's the back again, right? So, in Jiu-Jitsu, either Carter Robin or Chris or somebody is going to teach you a top spin. Okay? Now a top spin is basically just going from over the head and around towards the back. Okay? I have started to incorporate this because it has made passing so much easier for me. It's just by doing a simple top spin, my passing has been so much better. Okay? So as a guard passer, always remember that you want to find the easiest path, right? Now, in my X guard class, I was talking about getting underneath, right? So for passing, you can either go side to side, over the top, and under. Nobody thinks of going under for some strange reason. Everybody is either trying to do a Hoffa Mendes style of getting to the side, or everybody's trying to think of a Marvillo Santana and trying to smash through everything to go over the top, right? What AOJ is really good at is getting underneath the legs and playing here and passing, right? Like I said before, as a guard passer, I want to control the hips. Right here is a perfect example of it, right? No matter where Jerome kind of goes, I have his legs and I have his hips pretty much. Okay? Now, once I clear it, here's my pass, right? So, as a guard passer, this is all conceptual ideas, okay? So as a guard passer, you want to find the easiest path, right? Janelle, she likes to go side to side. Janelle likes to pass side to side and clear the legs because she's fast. She can move and get to where she needs to be, right? Vivian likes to smash through the guard. Okay, she always does like over-unders, or she does like leg traps. She doesn't know what a leg trap is, but she does it. Okay, and sometimes she'll even knee cut, and she'll knee cut hard. Okay, so there's always different types of passing styles. Everybody likes to pass a different way, pass a different direction, and that's good. That's what makes jiu-jitsu unique. Okay, now for the person on bottom, since we talked about the person on top passing, person on bottom, your first goal is to make sure your guard doesn't get passed. Okay? After you know you're safe, now you can start attacking. Attacking is just sweeping and submitting. Okay? Let's talk about sweeping first. So sweeping, you want to think of sweeping as a tree. Okay? If you take an axe and you try to chop the top of the tree, that tree not gonna fall. Maybe the top of the tree will, but that whole tree not gonna fall. Okay? But if I chop right here down by his ankles, right, he will fall. Yeah? So when you're sweeping, try and think of that. Like think of a tree, right? You want to chop the base of the tree in order to have the whole thing collapse, right? Because if I just chop the head or chop the top of it, everything right here still stands. Okay? Now, if I do chop the base of it, right? Now I gotta worry about the branches, because if I chop the bottom of it, here comes one branch holding the tree up now still, right? Now I gotta give it this branch. Then once I do, there's my sweep. Okay? So think of sweeping, literally think of sweeping as a tree. Once you knock the base of it down, comes the branches, right? Comes the arms, comes the head, to hold the tree up. Once I take all of that away, that's my sweep. Right? That is the most easiest conceptual idea I can share for you guys. Is just think of sweeping as a tree. Take out the base, branches and head is going to try and hold the tree up. Take out the branches, pow, that tree is gone. Okay? So for sweeping, that is the easiest way I can explain that. Submissions, everything is isolation. And I talked about this in the X-Guard class as well. Everything is isolation, right? So if I can, let me explain this first. Isolation is either far apart, super close together, or busy. Okay? Busy as in the arm, check it out, close hand. Busy as in the arms is doing something. Right? So if Jerome was to hold himself here, the branch, if the tree of the branch is to hold the tree up, right? I can use these branches to attack. Right? If I go for like a delicate sweep, like a super easy delicate sweep here and Jerome post, right? This is a form of isolation already. Because in order for me to finish a sweep, I have to get rid of this branch. Right? But the tree not going like that, so the branch won't hold. Right? Now for me as the bottom player, I'm gonna attack this branch then. If it wants to be stubborn, that's okay. Right? So now all I gotta do is kind of collect and use it as an advantage for me. Right? Now let's say I get everything far apart, like spider guard. Isolation again. Right? Once I kind of clear this here and I keep everything far apart together, boom. There's a triangle. Or frick, there's even a armbar. Right? Now if everything is super close together here, I have my wrist lock, I have the arm attacks, right? V-bars. Right? And that's even the same concept for the legs. If anybody's a leg attacker, it's the same thing. Either the legs is busy, or it's far apart, or it's super close together. Okay. Does everyone kind of understand that? Right, so tonight's class, I have only shown bare minimum technique. Everything else has been conceptual ideas. Right? Like I said before, concepts in jiu-jitsu is what makes the move, is what makes the technique. Right? If you guys can understand the concept of everything, the moves just come like this. Right? Instead of learning this, learn what makes this. Okay? Every move has a theory behind it. Every move has a detail behind it. Every move has a concept behind it. Right? It's just like music. Every note in the scale is what makes that key. Right? you're gonna play those notes. If you ever improv or solo, you're gonna play those notes in that right key, right? Because that's the theory behind it. And same thing for jiu-jitsu. The theory behind all those moves is what makes those moves. It's literally what makes those moves. Theories, concepts, details, anything is what makes those moves. Okay, so that's passing that sweep. Okay, so once we get around the legs, right, or let's say the person on top sweeps us and passes us as well, and then we get to here, right? So once we get around the legs, there's dominant position, side control. There's dominant position, knee on belly. There's dominant position, north-south. There's dominant position, mount. And then there's dominant position, back mount, right? In all of those positions, there's different types of it, like S-mount, tech mount, Kesikatami, reverse side control. All different types of stuff. But for now, we're keeping it simple. Side control, knee on belly, north-south, mount, and back. Okay? Once you guys get around those legs, those are all your guys' dominant positions. Okay? So, what we're gonna do now is everybody's gonna find a partner. They're gonna pick one of those positions. Okay? Do you have the person on top pick it or person on bottom? Person on bottom pick the position because you're gonna try and get out of it. Person on top, just hold. Okay? If they end up escaping it, meaning if they get back to a guard, restart. Okay? I just want to see you guys stand in this, that's why. Okay? Everyone okay with that? Final partner, what's the thing? My part, right? I shared what I needed to share. But now what I want to do is bring all of you guys together and we're gonna all share and kind of figure out understanding concepts all together, right? Because for me, I understand what I need to understand, right? What you guys may understand, I don't yet understand, right? So, we're gonna start off with this, real easy, okay? Real easy. We're gonna start off with a position, okay? It's gonna be an arm bar, okay? For me, there's 3 things, and only 3 things that you need for an arm bar, okay? If anybody in this room can name at least one of those, please feel free to share. Okay, so there's 3 things, right? Think about an arm bar position. Wrong finger. Think about the arm bar position and figure out what is those 3 things that you need. Okay? Once you guys get it, shout it out. Just let me know.
The arm.
Okay, that's one. Is the arm. That's really important. It's in the name. It's an arm bar, right? So there's the arm. Okay, but now we need to figure out how we're gonna control it, right? Now those are the 3 things. We have the arm. That's obvious, right? But what do we need in order to control and finish the arm?
Legs to the chest. Legs to the chest.
There we go. Is the legs. Okay. So what the legs do is the legs control the body to hold the isolation for the arm. Okay. So that's one. It's the legs. Okay. There's 2 more.
Wrist control.
That's the other one. Is the wrist control. Okay. Once I have the wrist, now I have separated all that control from the body. Right, so now I have controlled the major point of where the arm is going to turn. Once I control the wrist, this arm is not going to turn whatsoever. And now that I have the body as well, he's kind of stuck. Right? So we have the control points, now we just need the finish. And it's only 1 word. This is the 3rd major thing. It's 1 word. Who said? Somebody said breaking.
I said breaking.
Okay, breaking pressure, aka your fulcrum. Okay? A fulcrum point right here on the elbow. And this is the point of no return right here. And once you stop this, once you put a fulcrum under it and you keep pushing, this is gonna break or they're gonna tap. Right? So 3 things. See that? We all figured it out. And if not, we all heard it. Is the legs controlling the body, the hands controlling the wrist, and then the fulcrum point, the finishing point. Right? Every submission has that. Every submission has a control point, and every submission has a finishing mechanism. Okay? Let's talk about a triangle. Okay? I don't know all the things you need for a triangle. I shoot it a lot, but I don't know all of the things I need. Okay? But let's think all together. What do we need for a triangle? If anybody says head and arm, we know. Okay? That's one, arm across. Okay? Posture control is another one as well. Okay, so we have the arm across, we have the head, and we have what?
No spaces.
No spaces as well. Okay, what else do we need? What else do we need? We need the angle. What does the angle do?
Makes the
Close the gap.
And then what does that do?
Makes
Make
it
it
tighter.
tighter.
Cuts off
And then what does
arteries.
that do?
Sticky tap.
There we go. See, so we're all figuring out this conceptual idea. Everybody understands it, right? But you see what I'm doing here is I'm just asking you guys questions, right? What all of you guys do in this room is you guys just ask Robin, Carter, or me, or Chris, or any coach, what is this move, right? You guys always ask, oh, how do I finish this knee cut? Or how do I finish this arm bar? Or what is an arm bar? Or what is a triangle? Or what is an omoplata? What is a gogoplata? Like, everybody in this room asks techniques. And that's good, right? You need to understand the technique first before you understand the concepts, right? But once you guys understand enough techniques, the concept should come in play, right? Now, the questions you should be asking is what, why, when, where, and how. And you don't ask that, I mean, you can ask that to anybody, but you want to ask that to yourself, right? So if you're rolling with somebody tonight, right? So if I'm rolling with Dustin and I have him in a nasty wrist lock and he's not tapping, I need to, after the roll, ask myself, what do I need to do to finish it? How did I not finish it? When could I have done something different? Where could I have placed this? And after you answer those questions yourself or someone answers it for you, that's concepts already. That's concepts, right? For a wrist lock, all you need is the hand, and the bend, and the focal point is the elbow again, but in a different situation. It's not here, it's here. Right? Once I have the elbow, that force on top of the wrist is what breaks it. Okay? So, when you guys roll tonight, think about concepts. Think about what you guys need. What is making this work, and what is making this not work. Okay? Let's see. Let's do another example. What about let's go scissor sweep. What do I need for a scissor sweep? Okay, what does the grips do? The grips control the posture. Collar sleeve is the grips that we have. Okay? But what does that do? It immobilizes them from doing what? Posting. Right? All those grips is what controls the partner from stopping your sweep. Okay? Now, we have the control mechanism. What is the finishing mechanism? The leg. It's called a scissor sweep because your legs are just doing this. Actually, just go like this because it's easier. Right, so your legs is doing this motion, like a scissor. Right, that's your guys' finishing mechanism. Okay. Another example would be, let's see. Let's do back position. Okay. If I'm on somebody's back, what do I need? Obviously their back, but what else do I need? Hooks. I also need hands. Good. What else do I need? There's a main thing here. Okay, there's chest, but chest to what?
Chest to back.
Just to back.
Chest to back connection. Okay, now, for me, I've had trouble getting away from the back. Okay? Because I've always thought, oh, if I can just get my chest to back shin away, I can get out of this back already. Right? But what I had to understand first was that in order for me to kind of move my chest and back, I had to move my hips. Right? So in the back position, everybody is good. Everybody says they have the hands, you need the hooks, you need that chest to back connection. Right? But what if you lose the hips? What if the hips unsquare from you? Do you still have the back?
Yes.
Yes, technically, but do you have the back? Not really.
Control.
You kind of have like the side of them. You have the control mechanism, right? But you don't really have the back. Right? So for me, when I escape the back, I'm always talking about unsquaring the hips. Because once I unsquare my hips, even if my chest and back connection is still there, I'm already kind of 50% out of the back. Right? And that's what, for me at least, that's what made escaping the back easier. Okay? So, we have a minute left. I hope tonight kind of helped you guys understand concepts. Okay? Because concepts is really important in jiu-jitsu. Everybody thinks techniques, everybody thinks moves. Right? But what happens underneath the hood is completely different. right? And I've explained this to a lot of people, is that concepts in some move, you can apply to another move that some people think would never work. Okay? But tonight's class was to focus on conceptual ideas and trying to get you guys to understand that. Right? As a white belt, you're learning moves. You're learning moves from 0 to 100. You're learning so many moves. Right? But as you get to blue belt, you're kind of narrowing those moves down to make your game, to make your system. Right? Once you get to brown and black, now you understand why it's happening. Right? But if you guys can catch this early as a white belt or a blue belt and understand what's happening already, you guys are a step ahead. Okay? So I know it's 8:05. Nobody told me to shut up. Thank you. Okay? But we're gonna roll now. Okay? You guys have like an extra 25 minutes, at least for me, because for Robin and Carter, they would have ended this class a long time ago. Okay? But at least for me, you guys have like 25 more minutes to roll and kind of utilize all these ideas. Right? Now, like I said before, you guys don't have to take in everything I said. It's a lot. You don't have to take in everything. Just take in what's important to you. Right? Some things that some people might say to me might not be important now, but it might be important later. Okay? So, let's finish up class. Okay? I'll line up on the mirrors, and I just want to talk about one more thing.